All right, so good to be with you today and diving into an awesome topic. So, if you've been feeling unfulfilled and as you reflect on your life, seeing that over the years, that patterns of dissatisfaction, frustration, maybe in your career or your relationship, that you're just seeing the same patterns play out year after year, it's time to change things up and do things differently. It's going to require something from you to be able to make a shift in how these patterns are going in your life. And I'm going to open up a discussion around this today and give you some perspectives on what I see in working with men, some of the things that I've done, and some pathways that you can look at for yourself. Because here's the deal. After 6 years of coaching men, I've been in a lot of conversations with men over the years, and I've seen distinct differences between men who take action and put themselves out on the edge and really make a difference in their life, make a difference in their marriage, their career, how they show up in the world, versus a lot of men who I see get stuck in patterns. They might make some changes over the years, but largely these patterns keep playing out, and year after year, they're in a state of dissatisfaction. So it's time to shift this. And if you're feeling like, hey, I'm in a place where I got to do something different, I got to up the level of how I'm playing in my life and creating my life and getting supported in my life, let's have a conversation. Could be a conversation about one of the coaching programs that I offer. I'm also going to be launching a new low-cost mastermind program that I think is just going to be a huge asset to a lot of men. So if you're interested in any of those options, please feel free to comment below and let me know, because I want to be in the space with you. I want to be connecting with you and actually making your life better. And you're going to hear some of how we can do that in this video. So the first thing I want to speak to is that if you're of the belief that someday things will change, maybe life will get easier, the thing that I'm just going to offer you here is that, like, it's time for reality check. The circumstances of your life will not change unless you actively are the catalyst for that change. Your life will not magically improve. Fate will not have things go differently. What I've seen is that our patterns become predictable. And the reason that I can speak to this is that even with the men that I work with through private or group coaching, it requires something of them. It's not like they magically step into one of these programs and all of a sudden all their problems in life are fixed. No, their survival strategies come into play, their predictable patterns come into play, and that's even with support. So when you think about the man that doesn't have support structures like that, it's going to be a real tough hill to climb. So you really got to get this. You really got to understand that it's like life will not magically change. Your predictable patterns will continue to play out year after year. And here's the thing is, like, I spent 6 years plus developing myself. And that's just not developing myself through reading books or taking courses. I've been actively on the playing field. I've been working with coaches in private settings, getting feedback on my leadership and just feedback on how I'm showing up in my marriage, how I'm showing up in life. And over all that time, it's making these adjustments along the way. And that's been an intentional process. And I love it. I love playing at that level. I love being supported at that level because it truly makes a difference in my life. But I'm telling you, I've spent thousands of dollars. I've invested hundreds of hours, and I've been in conversations with men year in and year out, hundreds of conversations. So I've seen human dynamics play out in others' lives, but also in my own life. And here's the thing. It's like, I'm still learning. I'm still growing. I'm still adjusting. I'm still adapting. That's really like the zest of life. And I'll tell you right now, man, if I didn't have those support structures in place, my life would be hard. Life is already challenging as a man. There's so many things that we have to deal with. But if I didn't have the support to shift my mindset and who I'm being and the structures and the practices that I've had, my life would be entirely different. I'd be struggling in life right now. I'd probably be coping in life, but I'd be struggling. And I really want you to hear that, because it's required something of me. It's really required something of me to just show up and continue to seek out those resources and continue to invest in myself. But it makes a difference in my own life, for my family, for my clients. It really does. And you really, if you want to be a powerful man, it's going to require that of you. It's going to require you to up the level of which you're playing. So here's the thing that I'll speak to, and this is a big part of why I'm wanting to launch this mastermind community, is that it's great that you're reading books and listening to podcasts. Maybe you're even in Facebook groups where there's opportunity to be in conversation with other men. But here's the deal. Here's what I've seen is that if you're not getting direct support and feedback from trained professionals and facilitators and people who have done the work, you're doing yourself a disservice. The first thought that came to mind is like, those things are good. They're great resources, but you're almost like allowing yourself to go into a state of complacency because you're getting a little bit of support, you're getting a little bit of growth, but is it actually really making a difference in your life? Because I'll tell you, the reason why I'm looking to launch this new mastermind is because what I know is that direct support and feedback is what's going to make a difference. If you're posting on social media and you're getting your questions answered, but you're not getting live feedback based on where you're at in your life right now, feedback in your marriage, feedback in how you're communicating, feedback in how you're leading. If you don't have that in your life, it's no wonder that you're staying stuck because you're playing on the sidelines. You're not getting that direct support to see where you can actually make these shifts in life. And I could go deeper and deeper into this topic. So here's another reality check is like, hey, if your life is not satisfying, if you're not fulfilled with your life as a man right now, your marriage isn't where you want it to be, your relationships aren't where you want it to be, your career is stagnant, you feel like you don't have vision, you don't have purpose, it's going to require something of you to make these changes. It's not going to happen someday. Those predictable patterns are going to keep you stuck. It's going to require you to take action. It's going to require you to be committed and be like, listen, I need to create change and I need to create change now. It's going to require you to be humble enough to say, look, I can't do this on my own. I need a higher level of support. I need somebody who's walked this path that can support me and direct me and give me feedback to make these changes in my life. You've got to be willing to do something different, to get out of your comfort zone and to step into the unknown. Otherwise, you're just going to keep creating the same results that you've always had. You've got to be unwavering. You've got to be willing to get that support, get that direct feedback, and be humble enough to say, hey, I can't do this on my own. I need support at a higher level. And here's the thing. What I'm going to invite you to is raising the level of commitment in your life. So if you're reading books, you're listening to podcasts, step it up and go get a course. If you've done a course, step it up and get into a group coaching program where you're getting live feedback. And if you've been in a group coaching program, step it up and get private coaching. Raise the stakes in how you're playing life. Because again, as I'm going to say again and again, getting direct feedback and support is going to be the greatest catalyst for your growth going forward. I can speak to that with confidence because I've seen it again and again over these last 6 years. So I'd love to hear any comments or thoughts that you have around this conversation. What have you tried? Where are you getting stuck? What is your hesitation to commit yourself to a higher level of playing in your life? Because here's the thing, all of us have the capacity to create the greatest life that we want, but it requires something of us. It really requires us to say, I want to be the creator of my life. I will be unwavering in creating the life that I want, in creating the relationship that I want, in creating the mission and the purpose that I want in life. You have to be unwavering. You have to be committed, and you have to be willing to allow yourself to get out of a victim mindset and allow the environment to influence you and say, I'm doing this no matter what. I'm creating my life no matter what, how I see fit. So if you are interested in having a conversation with me and looking at how I can support you, whether that's through my private or group coaching programs, or if you're interested to hear about this new mastermind program that I'm going to be creating for men coming up here in the next couple of weeks, let me know in the comments below. Let's get into conversation with each other and let's make this happen for you. I love doing this work. This is my mission, and I feel called to create spaces where we can be in conversation together, not just through posts, not just through comments, and you know, hoping that that's going to be enough, but by being in an active space together where I can be a part of your life and help make a difference in your life. So have a great rest of your day. Bye for now.